Well, good morning, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving to one and all. Our guest this morning is the Chief Law Enforcement Officer of Suffolk County, which includes Boston, Chelsea, Revere, and Winthrop. And we say good morning and happy Thanksgiving to DA Rachael Rollins. Madam District Attorney, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours.
You too.
Now, you're coming up to the 2-year anniversary of your election, and you took office in January of 2019. What's the most surprising thing you've learned over those 2 years that you didn't really know before taking office?
So I think I am surprised by how important the work is that we do to change the culture internally in our office, not just messaging out to the people that voted for me and, quite frankly, the people that didn't, as to why we are trying to look at things a little bit differently. But most importantly, making sure that my staff, I inherited an amazing group of almost 350 people that work every day to keep the people of Suffolk County safe, Boston, Chelsea, Winthrop, and Revere, to make sure that I'm keeping them informed as to everything I'm doing and not only thinking about the outside discussions, but being true to what I demand and being transparent to my staff as well. And then just some of the pushback we've received with respect to things that are very easy, but we've had to prove ourselves over and over again, but I think we've done a pretty good job.
Give me an example, if you would, of that pushback and how you dealt with it.
Sure. So, for example, John, prosecutors since the beginning of time have had prosecutorial discretion. And that means that with our limited resources, we get to decide what cases we are going to move forward with and what cases we aren't. And that happens every day, just like police officers use their discretion every day and judges. But police officers and judges aren't elected, prosecutors are. And I've had not one, but two Boston Municipal Court judges that have questioned my ability to use my prosecutorial discretion to say we're not going to charge that crime, that low-level, non-violent, non-serious crime. We're going to null pros that case. One of them was Judge Sinnott, which you saw when Attorney Church was held in contempt and detained actually for several hours. That happened over 14 months ago. We still have heard nothing about what is going on with the Judicial Conduct Commission, sort of opening, I hope, the public's eyes to the fact that there's very little oversight on judges. And then most recently, we've had a judge not once but twice demand people were physically present in court when a court order and the SJC said you don't have to be physically present, but for really important parts of your criminal process. So we've had to waste taxpayer resources to go up to the SJC and win, not once, not twice, but 3 times, which, you know, we don't mind winning, but we shouldn't have to do this. It's a waste of taxpayer dollars, and judges should just be doing what they are supposed to.
Are these judges the exception to the rule in Suffolk County, or the rule?
That's a great question. I think there are many judges who question what it is that I'm doing. And remember, what are judges? Overwhelmingly, they are former prosecutors. So when I come in, John, as a candidate and say, this system is disproportionately impacting the poor, disproportionately impacting Black and brown people and immigrants, disproportionately harming certain communities, those individuals have to look in the mirror every morning and say, wait, did I contribute to that? So it's very, very hard. I'm proud of Governor Baker that he just made an appointment to our Supreme Judicial Court of a criminal defense attorney. Remember, of the 7 before Chief Justice Gantz died, 5 of them were former prosecutors. I love prosecutors. I am a prosecutor, but I've also been a criminal defense attorney. They do everything we do, but with a client and just 7 feet to our left or right, depending on which courtroom you're in, or in front of us in certain courtrooms, right? Or behind us, no matter where we're sitting in the courtroom. So for me, we just need a diverse bench. We need people that understand societal failures have resulted in a lot of these situations where people find themselves coming into contact with the criminal legal system. For example, Mass Ave and Melnia Cass. That is a lot of harm. That is an addiction. That is a health crisis that we are criminalizing every single day.